Hi, friends, and welcome in. Take what resonates and leave the rest. We're going to see what Spirit wants to bring through today. And this one feels very direct, but also very settled at the same time. Starting with this first energy, monitoring your moves. This feels like someone who is paying attention to you in a way that wasn't supportive. Not necessarily obvious at first, but more like quietly watching, observing, keeping track of what you were doing, what you were saying, who you were interacting with. And I feel like you might have picked up on this at some point, even if you couldn't fully explain it. Like you'd have moments where you were like, why does it feel like this person knows things they shouldn't? Or why does this feel a little too aware of me? And Spirit is confirming here, you weren't imagining that. There was attention on you, but not admiration, more like curiosity mixed with agenda. Then we move into walk away without guilt. And this feels like your response. Because at some point, something didn't sit right anymore. Something shifted, something felt off, something crossed a line, even if it wasn't obvious to everyone else. And you made a decision. Not loudly, not dramatically, but internally you were like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. And I feel like for some of you, you questioned that decision afterward. You wondered if you were being too harsh, too quick, too distant. You may have even tried to circle back mentally and justify staying. But what's coming through is that walking away was exactly what you were supposed to do. And you didn't do it out of spite. You did it out of self-respect. Now this next card, you are meant to receive. This is where the energy shifts. Because what Spirit is showing is that you didn't lose anything by stepping away. You actually created space to receive something better. And I feel like this hasn't fully landed for you yet. You might still be looking at the situation like, that was unfortunate, or that didn't go how I thought it would. But Spirit is like, you were being redirected. You were never meant to stay in something that required you to question your worth or your reality. You are meant to receive alignment, respect, clarity, support, not confusion, not hidden dynamics, not energy that feels like you have to constantly read between the lines. Then we get into this, the betrayer, and this is where things become very clear. There was someone in this situation who did not operate from integrity. And I want to be very careful with how this is said because this isn't about labeling someone as bad. It's about recognizing their role. This person talked. This person shared things. This person may have taken information about you, your life, your choices, your energy, and presented it in a way that wasn't accurate, wasn't fair, or wasn't complete. And I feel like for a lot of you, you already know this. You don't need proof. You don't need confirmation. You felt it. You saw the shift in how people interacted with you. You noticed the energy change. And you were like, okay, something's off here. That's your intuition picking up on truth before it's spoken. Then we move into, you are not easily fooled. And this is Spirit stepping in like, listen, you saw through this. Even if you didn't have all the details, even if you didn't confront it directly, even if you didn't call it out, you knew. And that matters because you didn't allow yourself to be pulled deeper into something that wasn't aligned. You didn't stay blind to it. You didn't ignore what you felt just to keep the peace. You trusted yourself, and that's what protected you. Now going into the second row, the double agent. This confirms what we were already feeling. There was someone who was not showing up the same way in front of you as they were behind your back. Two different energies, two different conversations, two different intentions. And again, you picked up on that. Even if it wasn't obvious, even if it wasn't confirmed in a direct way. Your energy felt it, and that's why you pulled back. Then we have, you agreed to this before birth. And I know this is one of those messages where it's like, okay, but why would I agree to this? And Spirit is very clear here. This was not about suffering. This was about awakening. This was about learning to trust your intuition, learning to choose yourself, learning to walk away when something isn't aligned, even if you don't have all the answers. This person, this situation, played a role in that. Not forever, just long enough for you to see what you needed to see. Then we move into, you sense what's hidden. This is your gift. You are not someone who needs everything spelled out. You feel energy. You read between the lines. You notice what's not being said. And sometimes that can be frustrating because you don't always get external validation for what you're sensing. But this reading is that validation. You were right. Then we have karmic debt being repaid. And this is where I need you to really hear this. You do not need to do anything. You do not need to confront. You do not need to expose. You do not need to defend yourself. This is being handled. Whatever was said, whatever was done, whatever energy was put out, it is coming back to its source, not in a dramatic, chaotic way, but in a balanced, aligned way. Because you handled this with dignity. You didn't stoop to the same level. You didn't retaliate. You didn't spread more negativity. You removed yourself. And because of that, your energy stays clean. And finally, slander, gossip. This is the confirmation. There was talking. There was misrepresentation. There were things said that were not accurate, not fair, or not complete. And again, you already knew. This is not new information. This is Spirit saying, yes, that's what was happening, but also, that's not your burden to carry anymore. Now, stepping back and looking at this entire spread as a whole, this was a situation where someone observed you, gathered information about you, and used that information in a way that was not aligned with your energy. You felt it. You trusted it. You stepped away. And now, the situation is balancing itself. You are not being asked to fix it. You are not being asked to engage with it. You are being asked to continue moving forward, because what you did, choosing yourself, walking away, not reacting, that was the right move. And Spirit is very clear here. You are protected. You are seen. And you are being guided into something that does not require you to question your reality. And just remember, as real as this experience felt, and as intense as it may have been, at a higher level, this wasn't here to break you. It was here to reveal something to you. We are all connected, and sometimes the people who challenge us the most are playing roles that were agreed upon long before this moment. That doesn't make what happened okay, but it does give it meaning. You're not meant to stay in the pain of this. You're meant to understand it, grow from it, and release it. Because at the end of the day, love is still the truth. And the more you return to that within yourself, the more everything begins to align in a way that's actually meant for you.